Good morning. Today, I just want to give you a brief sample of a technique that I call paradigm chanting that's very useful if you're learning Latin. This page here shows the principal parts of Latin verbs. If you're learning another inflected language, an ancient one like Greek or Sanskrit, or a modern one like Russian or German or Icelandic, you'll be confronted with tables like this in your grammar books and the sections of dictionaries and the like. And if you're taking a class in school, you might have to memorize this for a test, but if you're not, if you're an autodidactic self-teacher, you can look at these and you think, well, they obviously put it here because it would be good for me to know this. How am I going to learn this or memorize this? What am I supposed to do with this? Or just refer to it for reference or try to write it out or some other way and memorize it? I've always found the best way to approach this is to discover, and as you're bound to when you're doing anything, the underlying musicality or rhythm of the language and the patterns, and to play it up, to develop a sort of a rhythmic chant where you can just go over this and you can sort of, when you become familiar enough with it, you can sort of plug other words into it. You'll become familiar enough with these are the principal parts, be able to form other parts, and you'll be able to just really work with the language in a very important way. So how do you do that? Like this. Okay, I'm going to say each of these three times as I point to it. I'm not going to point to the English, but your eyes are going to go over there, and so you're going to know what you're saying. Okay, so we're just going to go like this. Dico dicere dixi dictum, dico dicere dixi dictum, dico dicere dixi dictum, diluo diluere dilui dilutum, diluo diluere dilui dilutum, diluo diluere dilui dilutum, do, dare, dedi, datum, do, dare, dedi, datum, do, dare, dedi, datum, docio docere, docui doctum, docio docere, docui doctum, docio docere, docui doctum, domo, domare, domui, domitum, domo, domare, domui, domitum, domo, domare, domui, domitum, edo, ese, edi, esum, edo, ese, edi, esum, edo, ese, edi, esum, emo, emere, emi, emptum, emo, emere, emi, emptum, emo, emere, emi, emptum. That's it. So just take a list like this, and when you're reading aloud, again, the goal is not to memorize it, but just to become familiar with the patterns. And this will really help you to become at home and comfortable with the language. If this were one of my virtual classes right now, I would have everybody go around and we would do this together, and I could check how you're doing it and give you some feedback. I hope you've learned from this video. But if you are interested in this kind of thing, then you might like to at one point take a class with me. So please look into my academy. The best way to stay in touch with that, I know you get lots of videos and things like this, would be to subscribe to my newsletter if you could. I think getting a letter from me once a month, maybe, hopefully I have something interesting to say, and that will just remind you, well, when the time's right, maybe I can look into this. And I would ask you, please, if you're interested in my work, my academy is really off to a good start, but I have visions for like how I'd like to have it expand and grow. And in order to do that, I really need to sort of grow the base. So when you get my newsletter, if you could just look at the topic of it, and if you have any friends or acquaintances that you think, they might be interested in this, if you could pass it on, I would really appreciate that too. So thank you for listening and watching. Try this technique and see if it works for you. Thank you.